I am going to do the garter stitch on the first 4 rows, and my pattern is going to be a series of 4 rows. Using the garter bar to push the work back, and then using my hand to slide the first row onto the bar. Now this is a KrisCrafter Garter bar. It is absolutely fantastic. I usually make handmade tools, which is what I've used until this was given to me. And now I use this exclusively. It is just so much better. Okay. So what I got to do is, I do not have the needle holder that you can get with it. So I just use an inch piece of wood and a ruler. So I push it backwards with my, so my latches open up. Excuse me. I turn my garter bar around. Now what I'm lining up on, you see these notches down here below the row? That's what I'm going to push the head of the needle onto. I just line it up. I'm looking through the stitch to the needle. And this is an exact 8 millimeters apart. So if you're a little bit off, the bar will not go on. Which is pretty handy, actually. It's not annoying at all. And just rock it until it lands. Now I looked through at the needle to make sure I didn't split any yarn. Now this is carrying yarn that I'm using, so it splits extremely easy. I use my bar to push the work back. Now, because I do not want to trip my row counter, I pick up my carriage at a slight angle, not too big because it won't go past the counter, but just enough so it does not trip the row counter. And I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do 4 rows, then I'm going to start the pattern. Now, if you wanted to do something like a seat stitch, you could probably do it just as easily as the garter bar. But like I said, I'm kind of hooked on this garter bar. And I'm using the garter bar itself to push the needles back. I just line them up and then push the needles through. And I'm holding the yarn, the stitches, with my free hand. Okay, push the latches back. I usually grab the middle so I can rotate it without hitting myself in the face. Yeah, I've done it a couple times. That's one of the reasons I'm using single weights on my work, because I have done it with the big long weights and it just totally inconvenient for me. It may work for others, but it does not work for me. And I'm just lining up through the stitches and hooking them on. And I've found that when I'm talking and doing this, I have all kinds of issues. When I just do it, I don't get the issues. So the next row, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to mention anything, so it's going to be kind of quiet. I know it's a little anal, but I'm a little backwards, so. And if you do trip it, just set it back to the row that you were on, supposed to be on. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to be quiet and try to be. What is giving me issues? Okay, one of the issues is I don't have enough weights on it. So, just put in some more weights. I got one more row. I should have an easier time with that one. Ooh, I have some drop stitches. Now I'm holding the weights up so I can rehang them. Opening the latches, turning my work, pulling the yarn a little bit to give me some extra room, lining up the heads of the needles, and then rocking it forward. Let me get a grip on this. You have to keep your bar straight. I don't usually have this much trouble. There we go. That's how it usually does it. Just right on there and off. Okay, now that's my 4 rows. Now at this point, I will change colors because 4 is my magic number. And I'm going to do it green and red. Bring the carriage over. Okay, now I'm going to knit one row even. Okay, now I'm going to set up my stitches. Now what I have on my machine, I have numbers printed up. I printed up on labels like that, and I put it on my machine. And this is the pattern that I'm following. I wrote and I printed up a piece of graph paper, and I transferred this pattern onto my graph paper and taped it down on my machine. Okay, so that way, because I get lost in a pattern very easy, and this way it cuts down on my getting lost. So it's starting, I start on the right hand side, I do knit 2 together, then a knit, knit, then now it's knit forward and back. But what I do is I do all my knit 2s and my skip skip knits first. Now when I do the skip skip knit, I take this over to here, over to the next one over, and then move this back over. Okay, then I do knit 2 together. What I'm basically doing, I'm bringing the outside stitch into the center, because it's a series of 11 stitches. Yeah. Wait a minute. Brain drain. Yeah, this one to that one. That one to that one. This one to this one. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, this gets moved over one. That one gets to that one. This one gets to this one. This way, when you've got your 2 increases, they're